And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Zero Hour Asia Showdown. The first match actually entirety is over. Rancor versus Chaos Theory. Rancor will be taking the win on that, sending Chaos Theory to the lower brackets, and we're gonna get into the next game. Before we do, it is Aikirito, but where's Aggressor, my friend? Who are you? I am unfamiliar. Okay, all right. It's getting old. It's getting
Yeah, it's
old.
getting old.
It's getting old. Or the execution was poor. Honestly, I feel like that would be a more accurate reason.
That's
But
very normal
um,
for you.
yeah, that is more accurate. But aggressive is alongside me on the casting decks, and we are gonna go into online dogs taking on Redwings very soon. Two teams that are I mean, well defined in the way they play, in their prowess and their skill level, considering the past experience that they have in the game and in professional play. For Zero Hour, we're expecting high octane action from them, but before we go into it, do you have any thoughts? Because we haven't really received the map pool yet, but any expectations, anything that you're hoping to see?
I think residential houses might just get picked up here. Both of these teams, they like to go in for a little bit more of the vanilla pickups, but Red Wings might be the ones to go in for something a bit more spicy. We have scrimmed against Red Wings, like when I was on the side of Rancor, so
Oh, we
I know exactly what those
was
guys are capable of. Yeah,
go ahead.
was okay.
Was, I'm
Again,
sure.
ladies and gentlemen, just an analyst, nothing else. And I know for a fact what the members of Red Wings are really capable of. Red Wings are a very active team that can really push the limits on almost every single map that they play on. But that's kind of the thing, right? That Red Wings, when given a chance to really perform, they are very difficult to stop. But that's kind of the thing.
Mhm.
Online dogs on the opposite side of the spectrum, I don't know how much they have played this game. So if we go on to maps like Showtime or even Breaking Met, then it's gonna be tough to say the release whether or not the members of Online Dogs are gonna be able to keep up. If they have put in the practice, they have put in the hours, if they have scrimmed a lot, then of course they're gonna be able to shut down anything that the members of Red Wings are gonna be pulling off. But when you have players on your team such as Sulfuric who can just instantly take over a game just based upon his pure raw mechanical skill, similar to what Mock does, it's going to be tough to solve them unless you know exactly what the strategies are going to be looking like.
Yeah, but speaking of like specific players, I feel like I think there's we should address that there are some changes to the original rosters. We from side of online dogs a couple of new faces. I'm unsure if Ghost was in the team before, but the name seems a little unfamiliar. We also have the six-player sniper, and I don't know if he's gonna show up on the field or not. But again, there are some rotations here and there. But overall, some of the heavy hitters, we have Libra, we have Piranha, we have Ficorax. These are players that have showed up before for the team. But again, it's all about keeping up with the times. The game is changing, the players are changing, the teams are getting a lot more intuitive on how the game is supposed to be played, the nitty gritty details and everything. So you have to go with the flow and keep up with all these other teams who are exploring and learning about the game and expanding their game sense, expanding their knowledge. And alongside that, you have to adjust with these new teammates that you have. You have to figure out ways to communicate with them, ways to build up chemistry, and get on the same footing. Same for Red Wings. We do see some newer faces. We have Paladin, we have Revolve. These names aren't I don't believe they were in the previous tournament for the team. But again, players like Sulfuric, as you said, you did as well. We know them in the community. They are strong, consistent players. So it's up to them to really bring these players up to speed and show them the protocols that you have, the gameplay, game plan that you've built up, and the style of play in general for the team. So, with that being said, we do know that online dogs, they are a bit of a fraggy team. They tend to be a little bit faster paced. So yeah, as you said, I am also expecting to see some of the vanilla picks coming in, residential house, possibly even uh, what was the
Rat
school
House,
critical response? Yeah,
critical
yeah,
response, Rat
possibly. I mean, again,
House,
I feel like
embassy
critical.
raid.
Yeah, Embassy Raid, even Breaking Myth, honestly, might show up because these are maps that are, despite having a lot of tactical sides, they do also reward teams who take the initiative to go for those gunfights early on. But yeah, critical response as well. I feel like even though there's this massive layer of understanding positioning and having knowledge of the spots. There's this massive layer of just being able to take gunfights, because on those long angles you need to be really accurate, and you need to be fast with your aim, and that is definitely some of the players that's something that the players of, say, online dogs possess. They are fraggers, they are aimers. We've seen them on a large variety of games trying to keep that aspect of their gameplay up. So that these will be factors that will go into matches like this. But again, moving forward into the tournament, um, how will that show up against teams like Rancor or teams like Shopper Bro, who like to use the double-edged sword of tactics and aim prowess? That's only going to be a matter of time, as we're still waiting for the map to start. But yeah, that's just the basic concept, isn't it? Blending aim with the map knowledge and the game sense.
Absolutely. We're gonna need to see where they're gonna be going with this one, especially because of the amount of different pitfalls that there can be for any particular map. If a team is very overly aggressive, are you gonna be able to shut them down? Are you gonna be able to find those trades in a lot of those situations? And knowing the members of Redwings, they like to play a little bit more slow and a much more of a tactical approach. While online dogs, we don't really know what to expect from them. This particular team doesn't have as many scrims as I do believe that we do know of, so the results can vary from time to time, but don't forget they did reach this stage for a particular reason. So this team is something that we have to look out for.
Yeah, I mean, they online dogs so far have really taken down teams that are not haven't really shown that they're exactly in the upper echelon. But again, some familiar names like Unit 911, we have seen them in the previous season. They got into this match by taking down Titan Nova, and that means they definitely have the potential, and they have definitely have the skill set. But as we go higher into the tournament, a lot more factors come in. We're starting to see map pickups that are maybe unpredictable, stepping out of the comfort of the vanilla maps. Newer teams that are exploring a lot more nuanced angles. We see Lil Zaza Mog going for these spawn peaks that no one's really seen. Teams that are really taking the time to learn the map, and instead of just maybe playing a CQB simulator. But it's again going back to that conversation of keeping up with the times, keeping up with the esport that's still very much in its early adolescence, trying to find its footing, trying to find out the style of play that really will shine. I mean, because we see other FPS titles, some prefer to take a lot more slower approach, a lot more organization going in to their set pieces. Then there are some newer games that just have order and chaos. They just throw whatever you have in the sink, and it's the fastest mind that can keep up with what's happening, that can adjust their aim alongside all the utilities and all the randomness that's going on. Each have their own places in the ecosphere. So where Zero Hour places, it's still developing, it's still sort of balancing itself out on where it will place itself. But we can slowly see a direction that maybe some teams do prefer to take that more arcadey approach, like we saw Rancor in that last round. When you get comfortable enough, you will definitely feel like this isn't that tactical in some sense, right?
True.
So that's what we saw in a lot of these cases, for a lot of the teams that are, again, have taken the time, taken the preparation going into the tournament to really be able to have that mentality going to the game. So we're hoping to see that show up from these teams like Online Dogs and Redwings as well, who are a little bit more on the fast side, on the super aggressive side. But yeah, this will definitely give them that prowess that the top team could show up with. But yeah,
Absolutely.
it's all gonna be a matter of time before we figure out what's happening. And time is the question. How much longer aggressive must we wait for this epic battle? I'm sure the crowd is going crazy. Woo, aggressor! dude, dude was brought out of the netherrealm for that. He was like just in his own world, doing his
Yeah.
thing, and he was just like,
You
"What
asked
this?"
me for the time. You asked me for the time. I was just gonna check the time, bro. And then like suddenly he's like aggressor. Yeah, you fell in love with aggressor. I know. I'll tell my
Oh
alter
yeah.
ego that you've already fallen in love with him. But on the opposite side of the spectrum, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe that it's going to be another couple of minutes before the game is about to start. We're going to get some confirmation on whether or not the players are ready, or if we're going to be heading on over into a break. But a little bit of food for thought here, Keito, before we do go anywhere. What do you think the
I'm gonna.
possible map pickups are going to look like, at least for the first initial map? Because we kind of did already talk about that a lot more of the basic maps could get picked up, but knowing Redwings, in my personal opinions, they might just be taking Breaking Med because this is a map that they've been practicing quite
Mhm.
heavily.
Yeah, and it certainly does
Oh, never mind.
go.
We got the map selection, ladies and gentlemen.
Or
It's
do
a
we?
residential house to go as map number one, with attack being online dogs, and defense on the defensive side, it's going to be Red Wings. Prison Break will be the second, and the third one will be critical response. A
Oh
very
hell nah.
standardized. It's very standardized to say the very least, with Prison Break and residential house being taken in. Prison Break, though, is gonna be a bit more of a question mark. Now, this is a map that I haven't played a lot. I've done the analysis for it, of course. I've seen a couple of games on it, but good God, is this map similar to Rat House in the way that you play it?
Yeah, it's dark. It's dark in there, and it's a bit more expansive than Rat House. Obviously, I have seen videos of it, but it's a lot more 3D in the sense that larger scale, larger floors, and it's a lot bigger of a compound and not as tight and clustered as Rat House would feel like, especially watching some of the teams really get familiar with it during the last season, because again that was one of the outsider maps like Critical Response. That was not a map that was picked up often because of all the nuances of the darkness and the repelling and everything and the balconies. So I'm really excited to see the teams picking up, especially teams that aren't really into playing these nuances, playing these map specific style plays. Like you have Rat House, you have Prison Break that have a certain style, Embassy and Hotel Raid have their own style. So teams usually, as we said, we're expecting them to go for the vanilla picks, but they are picking up these interesting maps. So that's very nice to see.
Yeah, we're gonna need to witness whether or not they're gonna have that kind of a game plan in mind, but Hakuna Matata, I would say, because the first initial game does come through to be in the most vanilla of formats. Residential House, I think we have talked about it multiple times back in the Zero Hour Open, even in the Asia Showdown. You can tell that the teams are just gonna be in tune with one another. They already know what to expect. They already know what to give onto this particular map. But then again, like, some strategies have evolved. People have started to understand that some of the rooms are very difficult to break into. Proper positioning is required. Drone work is also very crucial. But once you play Residential House a couple of times, the setups that you can go for and the way that you can play it is just very apparent. And is trades are where this entire map really starts to shine. There are spawn peaks. There are spawn peaks that are good for you and bad for you as well. It's all about that map knowledge, and it's a good litmus test for any team that starts to really pick up Zero Hour, because here is where the game can really start to either be the game that you start to fall in love with and keep on playing until the end of time, or to be one that you just give up on, because here is where everything is viable. You can do any particular strategy and really be able to hone it for yourself. And this is also a map where if you have strong mechanical capabilities, you're going to be able to showcase it off to its fullest degree.
Yeah, but before we do go into those maps with a lot more involvement of team play and strategy and utilities and whatnot, such as Critical Response and Prison Break, we sort of have to go through the the phase that is Residential House. Like every player goes through that, and they just have to explore the different boundaries and sort of push those boundaries to really feel out how tactical that map can be. Again, that whole concept of sort of trying to pincer down your opponents coming in from the top and from the bottom. You have the breaker to work with as well. And on the defensive side, again, the second floor hallway that you can play with the crossfire, holding on to each room's balconies, holding on to those windows. There's a lot more to go, play off of. And again, that bottom floor is just an absolute maze, and there's just so many interesting crossfires and set plays you can play, and utilities that don't really seem as effective in most cases, such as the door traps, or maybe the trip wires with the bombs. They can be placed really smartly if you have that proper understanding of how teams can be sort of put in a confused state, because the map itself can get quite chaotic, and alongside that, if you properly sort of misdirect your opponents in a way, you can find a lot of value out of those utilities. So I'm really hoping to see that these teams that have already pretty much nailed down the aim and have a solid um map knowledge and solid game sense, considering that they have played the game in the previous tournament, they have had a taste of what the upper echelon Zero Hour can provide. If they can add that to the repertoire, if they can add that to their arsenal, that will definitely be a recipe for an unstoppable team. Things pretty much what Rancor are slowly developing to be. Players like
True.
Mock and Savage, Deep Jol, these are fracksters. But paired on with the more precise and thoughtful approach that some of the other players like Lil Zaza might be guiding them around, or entirety of the team trying to expand their knowledge on the game, how the mechanics work, and expand their knowledge on the maps as well. Their map pool itself gives them a strength. The fact that they can just pick up a map like Showtime and just get on with it, and the timing could not have been any better. I said get on with it, and it's like the stream's like, yes sir. Who do we listen to? Kirito, not aggressor or aggressive
True.
or
No, no,
whoever
they
that
listen
other
to
guy is.
aggressive. No. They listen to aggressive, not aggressor.
Aggressive was silent, my guy. It was I, Kirito, who was speaking, and I said get on with it, and they are here. But the point is, residential house, as much as it gets chaotic, there's a arc that every residential house match goes through. It's still fun to watch. A first map, we didn't have
So
the most
let's
entertaining. Yeah, it's not wasn't the most entertaining of games. The first one, where Rancor took the W, but at least this one's gonna be fun at the very least. First floor site, I believe, if I'm not wrong, for the side of Redwings. And yeah, speaking of the maze, it's a heavy task to even get through those glass balconies on the first floor early on to the game. And now with the Redwings even expanding to the second floor, Online Dogs, they have to bring their A game going into the action phase.
what's gonna be the game plan for them to move forward with this one too? Because one of the few positions where Red Wings are really good at is on this first move position.
Deploying
They've
in
gone
10
in for
seconds.
something very stabilized because the kitchen side is very difficult to break into, considering that always you have to cross to try and go for these fights. Positionally though, looking a little bit better for
Locate
the
and
overall
defuse the bomb.
approach. A couple of pop shots being taken here by the members of Red Wings to just give away a tiny bit of information, but knowing what the attackers are going to do, they have all the information that they could have asked for. Libra, Piranha, his mouse is talking, that's for certain here, possibly even more in this particular match. We never really know. But overall, the members of Online Dogs in a pretty good position, I would say, because they have a very comfortable map to play for, and they've already opened up quite a significant portion of the map as they're working their way through second floor. Not really on the agenda for any of the team members, but knowing Uded and what he's really capable of, he's going to be trying to go in for a lot of very aggressive attacks, that's for certain.
He's gonna have to try and take his time with it to understand where they're really coming from, and figure out an avenue that's gonna be really effective. But Online Dogs might be a little bit too fast for that part, as they're already making their way through the building. I don't think that any second floor progress can be made at this point. He might go for a lurk down the stairs, but I don't think he's gonna be able to find anyone outside. Really fast approach from Online Dogs, but again, it's not entirely, aggressive or chaotic in the sense that they're just running in. They are trying to take their time with it in their own approach, trying to play a little bit slow. And Online Dogs with the first kill in their favor already. Realbra taking down that first player, giving them the advantage. But again, a lot of HP loss for a couple of these players on Online Dogs, and they are taking these aggressive gunfights. But again, HP will be a factor going into these late round stages. Still a 40 minutes, sorry, not 40, 4 minutes actually.
Just 40 minutes in a round.
Imagine 40 minutes of this. We would actually probably have like an actual, uh, what do they call it? The planning phase that real SWAT officers have, or stuff like, we're gonna go in through here. You flash that. You flash this. On a
40
larger
minutes of
scale.
tactical talking.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has that attention span here in Long Village, especially if
Not
you're
in this
playing video
generation.
games. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially yours.
Dude. I mean, okay, I
You are
won't say.
younger than
That's not the point. We're still more or less in the same generation. Ghost with the nade kill will find one. You dead in a world where it has to run away. He's gonna be forced from so many angles. Maybe a flank coming in, possibly. But no kills so far. You did go for a swing, but doesn't spot anybody. Libra actually lands two. A lineup, possibly.
Yeah, he lined them up.
And a 1v4. Escanor. Gun barrel spotted out. He's gonna go for the peak, but there are two players there in Libra. Was that 4 kills? Or was it an ace?
No, that was 4 kills to his name. Libra just like casually ran through almost everyone in this position, and I don't know why the members of Redwings played so slow in this particular round. I want to know one thing. You're playing Residential House. You're not playing a map where you have to hunker down instead of the site. If you start hunkering down, you're not going to be able to find a lot of value, especially up against a team that know what the hell they're doing. They have the ballistic shield going for themselves. They have a lot of flashes to really play for as well. Utility was running amok. Libra was in a good position. He went in for the flank. He got multiple frags just for free because of one particular reason. Redwings, they gave away a lot of the free space. You don't have anyone playing towards the side of living room. Where is their living room control? You need to have someone present in that exact spot, because as soon as they take over living room control, you're giving them free avenue over towards the hallway. Kitchen control is not going to be able to establish as well anymore. Your cams are lost as well. You're sitting in the dark. You're just waiting for your opponents to rush in towards you if they know how to use their smokes. This is
Additionally, I think Online Dog's pace of the game, the round, was something that Red Wings couldn't really keep up with. Even if they tried to adjust, maybe go for some aggressive pushes, or maybe have the top player from the second floor try and go for a flank. It was just Online Dogs took space, so they saw the free real estate and they're like, this is mine, and they did that at an incredible pace. Definitely catching Red Wings off guard. But again, that's just the first round. I think it was a very obvious mistake that they made, and they should take note of this. I definitely expect them to be a little bit more wary about their positioning from now on, and how much contact they actually give off in these early rounds. Again, going for the same site on the first floor, hoping to see them maybe create some obstacles early on for Online Dogs, maybe not let them into the building as fast as they did last round. Restrict their freedom a little bit. But again, Online Dogs, they will definitely try and replicate something that they replicate the performance that they did in that last round. But again, a big major contributing factor to that was Libra. But this time it's Vicorax who's actually running in, and he's already inside. Ghost on that shield as well, trying to chime in, create multiple points of entry. Just feels like they're just being so static, even in this round. No real initiative to see where their opponents are, how much progress they made, or gather information. Much less attempt to deny them that space. Red Wings taking a seat behind the back. They're in the trunk.
Wow.
I don't know why the members of Red Wings are playing so
really loud.
Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, it seems as though my microphone's a little bit iffy from time to time, and I blame OBS for that one exactly, but that's completely fine, because another thing that we have to consider here for this particular game is the way that Red Wings have been playing. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't really seem like them in a lot of these rounds, because they're taking such a laid-back approach on their overall setup. So Fury, though, is in a good spot. Finally, we do see the much more aggressive team really come through over towards the corner position. And this is a very standard play. Uded is going to be able to catch up Libra, finally being able to shut down one of the raid bosses that have been causing a lot of problems for them. But Looking towards the back end. It's going to be a couple of pop shots being taken. Piranha's going to be able to find a big kill over onto Udet. That's an instantaneous state of as Udet tried to run away from the living room position, but because of the amount of noise that he made and the kill that he got out of Libra, his position was compromised. And now it's up to Ghost to really get the walk around over towards this corner. But I do believe there's a C4 in the spot. So if soon as he crosses, that C4 is going to blow up and instantly take out Ghost. Even with the shield, he's not going to be able to survive that.
It's going to be them being out in utility. C4 comes out, but doesn't get the kill. Counter nade and utility comes in. And it's gonna land. Paladin taken down. I don't think I think the nade was invisible in the smoke, and he didn't know he was standing on top of it. Trade does come in though. 3v3 situation. But again, Redwings, they are gonna be holding their positions. This stairwell player could be the biggest factor here for Redwings, considering the rest of their players are gonna be a little bit more passive in their approach. So looking for the peak, but the other side, here comes Piranha. It's going to take him down. 2 versus 3. 2 versus 2, actually. Do my eyes deceive me, or am I just incapable? I thought it was a 3v2 for a second, but doesn't matter. 2v2, make that a 2v1. Is this going to get the kill onto Smokey? All onto the final player. Nine Dogs Ghost. He's going to find the first one. It's a 1v1 now. Doesn't have utility. He's trying to spam the smoke, but the player's right around the corner. Cameras are going to be spotting him out. They know exactly where he is. He just has to hold the angle unless Ghost decides to go on a round trip.
Is the hallway cam dead? I don't think so, right?
Nah, it shouldn't be because they didn't make any progress on the hallway.
Yeah, this one. Oh, no, the hallway cam's gone. It should be right on there, on the top there. It wasn't there, so that's going to be another big problem for them to break into. But multiple different points of entry that they can really for Ghost in a pretty good position. Could be the one to go in for the first fight. He does get it, deals a tiny... No, he didn't even deal any damage. Revolve's going to be able to run his way out. Positions are good. Pre-fires are given as online dogs. They're looking for the hit. 2 minutes left on the clock. They're making a lot of noise trying to go in for this one. Redwings, they understand the position in towards the sidelines. Revolve, he's trying to work his way around. Possible couple of frag shots being taken from the sidelines. He needs to try and go in for the fake defuse if he wants to try and force this engagement out. Both sides going in for shots. They're running out of bullets for this overall fight. You can tell that Revolve's down to his last couple, and this is going to be tough. As soon as he goes in for the spam, Redwings, they're making a lot of very significant mistakes. And Revolve, as long as he tries to hold on to this line, he's giving Ghost so much space to play for. If he gets close to the door, and it's all but over.
Positioning is going to be the key factor right now. Ghost picks up the ballistic shield. That could be the X factor. Yeah, he can just run him down.
Oh, not even that. He can just turn the shield around.
He's trying to play it on his back and maybe stick the defuse. And again, he's so far away, he won't be able to land a clean shot. He's running it down, trying to push in. Wallbangs won't connect. He doesn't even know. The door's closed and the defuse will come down. Online dogs. Wait.
No, it doesn't. He actually got the kill.
Wait, he got what?
I think he shot his foot. He wasn't fully crouched. Oh my god, he forgot to crouch.
He stood up. He stood up while defusing. That's going to expose your feet a little bit. But he didn't even know. Was there a cam inside or something? How did he know to shoot for the foot?
No. There was no cam. He just randomly started firing. A couple of bullets hit his foot and he died.
It's that's either the wildest luck I've ever seen, or he just has the game sense of literally every god ever. Like, he had no information. He did not see his opponent once to tell that he had a ballistic shield on, unless he had some kind of a reference from noise or something. He should not have known, but randomly goes for foot shots. Fine by me. As online dogs tie things up 1-1.
Oh my god, these are the kind of mistakes that will really cost you rounds here, ladies and gentlemen. Difficulty after difficulty, round after round. You cannot make mistakes like this, because as soon as you start doing it, the members of Redwings are gonna be able to capitalize. Tough for the overall positions, as the members of Online Dogs now left to lick their wounds a little bit to try and make this round a little bit better for themselves. But you have to give where credit is due, that they were able to turn this round around on just a whim, right? Because Ghost, in no situation, should have been able to get this close to the round ending. He had a good plan, but the execution was just a little bit off. But given the time and given the positions, you can tell that Online Dogs now are going to be going in for a little bit more of a different strategy overall for their setup. Uded does have the cam again, placing it very standard, doesn't really want to change anything, but with an Uzi in hand, he can't really go in for a lot of those over-aggressive peaks anymore. He needs to play for the close-range finds because that weapon can kick so hard if you're not careful.
Yeah, he's gonna have to try and play with those circumstances. Online Dogs again, playing on with the shield. You know what Ghost was in the first season? For some reason, the ballistic shield and his name are just so coherently blended together. I'm like, oh yeah, he was in the first season. I saw him picking up that shield time and time again. Bro is cosplaying Captain America for his team. But still a lot of work to be done. 1-1 scoreline and first kill going in their favor. Trade is immediate. Escanor paying back Pycorex in full payment in due time. Getting that 1-1 4v4. 5 minutes on the clock. Piranha aware that there could be a top stair push. There is a player lurking out there. That should be additional information. Again, Libra. Long range kills. They're trying to go for these picks, and you did. That's going to be a big kill. A lot of value found from that.
Where's the crossfire for that one position? Yeah, I get it. Sulfur's playing from inside of the bathroom, but you should have one more player ready for the crossfire. In that exact spot, Piranha is going to be able to find another opening kill over towards the side of Redwings, and they're giving away these picks one by one. They're playing for the outskirt positions. You're trying to take a duel against them in a very horrible spot. You allow them to be get a little bit closer towards these angles, play for the longer range lines of sight that you significantly have an advantage over because of the positions that you are playing. There's no repel either to try and clear out Sulfuric from that position. Ghost is just sitting there menacingly with the shield, and that's all that it takes to catch out Sulfuric. It really shouldn't be the case.
Agility is going to be a factor. Libra gets a kill, but the trade is there instantly. Caught in a reload. Paladin doesn't lose any HP though. Still a 1v3, spots out the shield, lands some shots, but on the other side, it's going to be Smokey coming in to try and protect his teammate, and he will be successful. Redwings get their second. Wait, Redwings? Oh yeah, Redwings. Sorry. Wait, no.
No, not Redwings. Swap it
Oh,
up.
yeah. It took a while. Production's a little bit on the sleepy end today. It is a little bit late. Well,
Hey, it's the first day.
It's not as late.
Hey, first day production is always rough.
It's always rough, but it's not. It's gonna be a little bit more rougher tomorrow. At least from the point that we will be burning the midnight oil, for the lower round 3. 2 matches starting very late at night. But we will be there for it. Definitely not missing out on any of the action, especially considering that we might be seeing Shopper Bro dominate on the field. But that is tomorrow's story. We focus on the present. And the present says Online Dogs in a 2-1 lead going on to the defensive half. Again, a lot more preference towards this lower floor for both sides. But again, Redwings, the potential that this site has, the crossfires to be held, the amount of positioning that the amount of advantage the positionings give you, the cover gives you to deny the early access, the early entry into these spots was not really displayed from their end. Maybe Online Dogs can sort of set a better example to what this site has the potential for. But with only 10 seconds in the action phase, Redwings, they are 1 round down only, but in a more metaphorical sense, they are a little bit more far behind than just 1 round. They have a lot of positioning or utility related, screws to tighten up. They're gonna go for this triple approach. They're gonna go in all the way from the top floor down to the bottom. They do have drones to make this a little bit quicker to clear out these sites. Again, clearing 2 entire floors is no easy task. Although online dogs are not really playing any lurkers, this is a time-consuming task, but it might pay off big time if they do it well. Closed doors will make life difficult. Drones can't open doors, unfortunately.
But they still get the information of what's happening on the staircase position, right? So that's a lot of free space already being gained by the members of Redwings. So they're going to be able to utilize it to work their way down completely. The light will not get turned off in this particular instance. So we're just going to need to wait and see where this is going to go. But overall, the positioning is good, to say the very least. But to really see where that's going to go for this particular instance, because you can see that the members of Online Dogs have given away a good chunk of space here over to those top player positions. So hallway control will be established pretty quickly by the members of Redwings, but the real question is, how far are they going to be able to work this one through? Because Online Dogs, as soon as they start peeking out a little bit here, and if Udet's positioning is pretty much anything to work on, Udet, he's going to be the first line of contact here, and as soon as that kill happens, it's going to be a big one for them. Positionally, they're in good spots. One player did die here, but we didn't get a call for the body.
Wait, who died?
No, then yeah, no one died. No one died.
One died. Aggressive is mixing things up with the aggressor.
Oh no.
Personalities are revealing themselves and making things confusing. But yeah, a lot of progress made by Redwings. They are trying to make the stairway count, trying to give some room to the rest of the players who are outside on these balconies, trying to walk in. Nate, oh, revolve. Yeah, not the best Nate, but could have been effective. Still wary about some second floor presence, even though they cleared it out. Just doesn't hurt to be careful. But again, Online Dogs holding these crossfires for a while. And again, these could be quite strong and hard to break through. Because Redwings, again, utility hasn't been the greatest. They have burned through a lot of it. And not made much significant progress. They've taken stairwell control, but again, it's not really coming into play just yet. They're still trying to find a crack in this defense to give them an opening pick. Already a player low on HP. Things not going in their way at all as Ghost lands another onto you dead. It's gonna be a big kill.
Yeah.
All that progress. Nothing to show for so far. Barely 3 minutes in and another one. Things are not going in their favor. Even on the attacking side, it seems like they're not able to make the proper decision. Yeah, they're not making any progress anywhere.
No, it's more like they're afraid to take a lot of these fights. Yeah, you now have full control over towards the elbow spot. You just need to go in for the first initial pickup, and yeah, that's so Fury. This is the kind of positioning that you need to play for. Be a little bit more aggressive. Force your opponents to really feel uncomfortable in the positions that they're trying to play. But the members of Redwings, as soon as they gain that space, they instantly just start falling apart one after the next. Piranha down over to his third, to his name, and now it's all up to Sir Fury, the aim star himself, around the corner, tries to go towards the living room for the push, and he's just not going to be able to find it. And with his position completely revealed, he's gonna need to run out towards the balcony side pretty soon. That's gonna be an instant training straight off from either side, and a 1-2-3 scoreline for the members of Online Dogs. They just played it as a bunker strat, and it just worked. Redwings had all the space in the entire world. They had information that all of the players were inside of the site. They had the util to do so as well. They had a drone. They had the information. But where in the hell are your flashes? You could have used so much to flush them out. Yeah, like, I don't know why you're just sitting around waiting for opponents to make the first move. Of course they're not going to make the first move. Why would they?
They figured out that they're not going to make the first move in the first 2 minutes of the round. When they saw no one was really on the second floor, they were slowly peeking into these outer rooms of the first floor. That gave them ample information that they are playing deep inside the site. And that should have been the biggest fish in the net. You have them cornered. Just smartly play your crossfires, go for trades, and just be fearless about it. But no, that's not gonna be seen at all. Redwings seems like they are yet to find a footing in this tournament. I mean, they did make it this far. They took down a couple of big teams, but I mean, they took on Shopper Bro in their first match. So that's got to count for something, but seems like they are struggling. Could this be a map issue? It shouldn't be a map issue. It's a residential house.
Yeah, exactly. This cannot be a map issue for them, knowing what they're trying to do. Redwings, though, they're just making a lot of very easy and simple mistakes that doesn't really make any sense because the team, they know what they want to do, but they're playing so scared. I don't know why.
Yeah. Online dogs are pretty much holding a sign and saying, yo, just free real estate. Go for it. And they're not really, making the most out of those options. But it does beg to, just make you wonder if this is the similar strategy Online Dogs showed up with against a little bit more of a proactive team. I mean, say Shopper Bro or Rancor. They might have been on a completely different side of the spectrum. They could be struggling to hold on to sides. They could be struggling to trade. Again, I want to say that they maybe studied Redwings. They maybe figured out that they don't really go for these opening picks that easily. That's why they're bunkering down, but I doubt it. I doubt that this is something they analyze. It feels like they found a rhythm. That this hold way deep inside the first floor is something that they can break through, and they're just sticking to it until it breaks. They're gonna try something new. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
I know the reality of the situation now, isn't it? Members of Red Wings playing as aggressive as they want to, but even with all that aggression, even with so much space to play for Online Dogs, their slow-ended presence is always really the problem now, isn't it? Once again, given a chance and opportunity, as they're trying to be a little bit more sneaky on the overall approach, goes in for a little bit of spam here. Escanor trying to see if he can catch any of the players of Online Dogs off guard in a bad position, but it's just not going to work in the way that you would have wanted. Psychox is going to be able to take out another big kill. That's Paladin now gone and taken off of the table. They still do have the drones to play for. A couple of good positions here and there for them to hold on to. Nade already utilized, but what was this need for exactly? Your players are just getting inside of the building. Exactly. Exactly. They're working their way in. They cleared out all of the roam positions. Now they know that everyone's hunkered down into the side. Again, similar to what happened in last time. And where's your utility? Do you have any utility that you can play for? Because a Molotov is still in check. Multiple different nades in the hands of Online Dogs. Still to this exact position. Drone still in hand as well. Where's your ballistic shield to try and take the space behind that drone? And where's the other player that you'll be playing from behind that exact same drone? You don't really have any of that. You're making those mistakes and you're allowing Online Dogs to just run away for free with your entire lives.
Still a little over 3 minutes left on the clock. If they are to make these choices, there's still time for it. But again,
the nade was utilized too early.
But
why are you using these
no one
nades
there?
for? Yeah, what are you using these nades for?
Even Online Dogs are not really going for these fights. They're just trying to bait out these utility. Trying to bait out these nades. Trying to run their opponent's arsenal dry. They're just chilling. They're just chilling in the living room, not really even going for peaks. We're seeing these jiggles from the side of Redwings, but no real fight coming in from Online Dogs. They're taking their time and just waiting, running the clock down. 2 minutes 30 still left. 4 versus 5. Oh, wow. How did that even happen? Trades do come in, but still very much in the favor of Online Dogs. 4 versus 1 now. It's all on to Escanor, who's half HP. Had a nade, not anymore as he uses it up. Trying to use the flashbang as well. Maybe get some information first, but again, the rush comes in. Flash doesn't matter. Ficarax is going to get the 4th on the board. 1-4 for the set of Online Dogs, and they're 1 away from taking it home. This first map on Residential House. If we did have to pick, Online Dogs would be, honestly, it's really hard to say that Online Dogs are playing well because they're just doing the same thing over and over again, and it's a strategy that can be really easily countered. but Redwings just aren't able to find themselves in a position to do it. I mean, they are finding themselves, they're just not doing it, honestly.
Just doesn't make sense, right? You can't really be in a place like this. And in a lot of different ways, the members of Red Wings are just not taking that initiative. They need one player to really be the fearless one, right? If they're all playing as though their lives matter
They
in this
haven't played
particular
the shield,
game.
have they? They haven't
Now,
played the shield at all.
okay, forget about the shield, right? I want to know one thing. If you are going to play like this, correct, then like at least have one of your players be the sacrificial lamb. Like you all can't live. That is not how you're gonna play Zero. Or someone has to die. Someone has to run forward. Be that first initial line of entry. Why do you think Rancor is so successful? Because they have Mok who's willing to be that fearless entry for their team. Every other squad has that one particular player that's willing to go in first and die for a cause. But here for the side of Red Wings, I don't really see anyone. In the last couple of rounds on the attack side, in particular for online dogs, you saw Piranha be that first line of contact. You saw Ghost also trying to be that first line of contact when he had that shield in hand. But where is that exact same player for the side of Red Wings? You have
It's
an
not even
aimer.
entirely sacrificial. If you have that utility to back it up, you have that information to utilize later on. Oh, this guy killed me here. Let me throw a nade there, or let me send in my drone and spot him out before you go in. There's so many ways that it can be valuable, but you just have to take the initiative to find that opening. I mean, it's like they're doing 90% of the job. They're clearing out all the sites. They figured out where each player is, but at the very end, they're not really taking the fights effectively. And and we haven't really been catching these deaths that cleanly, but some of these deaths seem very out of place. Like a random fight. It's not even you attempting to take some space or you reacting off of information. Nothing like that. Again, a little bit more aggressive. You did not the best nade. He will, I think, catch some damage. He will. It's not much, but a lot of utility being thrown out early on. They are being a little bit faster, if that counts. Trying to be a little bit more aggressive in taking room, but again, not really working out. They will find an opener, but the trade is instant. Smokey avenged by Fikerax. Again, a very tough spot to push through. I love the initiative. I love the proactiveness that is showing. But now they really need some kind of utility to back it up. Maybe a drone. Maybe a shield coming in. Maybe a flank to pull these players. Make the defense weak and make it easier for these guns to move in. But again, banging your head against the wall isn't going to help. You need to soften the wall up.
I need to wait and see where they're gonna go with this one. Oh my god, he just got that angle out so beautifully. Paladin's position known and tested. But the thing is, Red Wings kind of played in that spot about how many times now? About 3 rounds together. Libra's gonna be able to find a double kill for himself. Take out the teammate in the front end. Goes in for the shot, but nope. Sulfuric hard to try and get a hold of, especially in those positions. Positions revealed. Sulfuric in a good spot. Good tries to go in for the kill. He's gonna be able to find it, and never mind. Sulfuric given a chance and an opportunity to turn everything on its head, and that's all up to Piranha. The guy whose mouse keeps on talking here, ladies and gentlemen, to bring in the pain and bring in the hurt, clutch it for his team, and knowing him, he should be the one to do it as well. He just needs to wait. He doesn't need to make any form of noise. Just chill and give your opponents time to fester. 3 minutes left on the clock. Just fall asleep if you want to here. You're in the living room, and you can do whatever the hell you want.
He's got a nade as well. He's got that health pack as well to maybe prolong his life a little longer. And again, Sulfuric low on health, no utility. Let's pick up the AK, a little bit more damage. Might give him a fighting chance, but Piranha, 7 kills and only 2 deaths. Possibly an 8th. He knows he has that confidence. He has that force within him that he knows that he can take this gunfight. At least try to. I mean, again, a 4-1 scoreline, anyone would be like, okay, I'll take this gunfight. To hell with it. But inherently, the players of Online Dogs have shown that they have that confidence in them. Sulfuric has time to play with. I don't mind this. He's trying to take his time to clear out these avenues. But again, What is the plan? Actually, what is the plan? What is he doing?
I mean, he's going around the world in 80 days. I think he is expecting Piranha to be in this
It's
spot.
90 days, no? Is it not 90
No,
days?
80 days.
Is it 80 days?
Yeah, it is 80 days. But he's in such a good spot. Piranha, he cannot die here unless Sulfuric just catches him on a pixel somewhere.
Wow, he's really sweeping the entire building down. I mean, that's good, but
Oh, no, 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 no. Okay, this it
oh,
might be
wait,
bad if he's
wait,
not
wait.
careful with this one.
Oh, he's got to be ready for this.
No, 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 he's prone down on the floor. There's no way he's gonna be able to see him.
I'm talking about Sulfuric. Oh, he doesn't spot him.
No, no, yeah, Sulfuric's not gonna be ready for it. He's prone all the way down onto the floor. The door's also jammed, so he can't really break through. As soon as he starts making noise, Piranha's gonna know almost
there it is.
instantly.
Oh, there it is. That is so anticlimactic. That is so anticlimactic. He gets the wall bang in down onto the floor. And Libra is gonna be the MVP, but Piranha with the clutcher. 1-5. That's the first map, right? Oh my god. It was a quick one, but it did not feel like the first map. It was hard to really see. Redwings had continuously pummeled back and forth and just unable to find that coordination within themselves to maybe take some space, maybe defend some space on that first half, maybe try and be a little bit more proactive, use some of the util in a more effective manner. There was a lot of space given away to online dogs, and vice versa. Online dogs gave space away, which was not capitalized on. Very weird how that entire match played out, honestly. But again, it is still Red Wings. The name still means something. So we're hoping to see maybe going into Prison Break, maybe something different will show up. Maybe they have a better game plan. Maybe they just gave up on Residential House. I don't know, but it's definitely not like them to, have this absence of presence in the entire game, essentially.
Yeah, the team synergy just doesn't make any sense here. I don't know why everyone's just playing for their own lives and not really playing for the team's sake. And if that's what's going to happen on Prison Break, there is no way they're going to be able to play that particular map out either. We're going to need to wait and see how that thing is going to go, because Prison Break as a map, it just has too many different variables that you have to worry about. And because of the way that the game is generally played out, when the variables are so vast, and from what we have witnessed from online dogs as well, they have done their preparation. They know what to expect for this particular map as well. I do believe, because I think this is a map pickup from their side. So online dogs, they might have just set themselves up for a guaranteed 100% victory almost.
Possibly. It depends on how they play Prison Break, how they view that map, how they come up with strategies. Again, as a map, we aren't that experienced. At least I'm not that well aware of how it is played. But, Prison Break as a series, though, definitely recommend. Go check that out. Very, very entertaining. But what's more entertaining is how these teams, after this round, after this performance, how will they react and how will they maintain themselves going to the next one? Will Red Wings come up with something, or will Online Dogs maintain this very simplistic strategy that's just pretty much taking them to victory? We'll find out after a short break as we go into the next one. Till then, stay with us. We will be right back. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back with the Zero Hour Asia Showdown upper semi-final. Second match, second map. Online Dogs taking on Redwings. It's Miki. Alongside me is Aggressive, formerly known as Aggressor. We'll be going
Yeah,
into
and the
the next
evolution.
one. Yeah, the evolution. It's more like a devolution, let's be honest. But regardless, Prison Break is on the cards, and it's not the show. It's gonna be the Zero Hour map. We're gonna go into it as Red Wings, a bit of a shambles performance on that first one. Very unexpected of them. They are a team that has displayed a very high caliber of performance in the first season of the tournament. They have shown that they are willing to give time into the game and learn the game and have that sense of tactical proficiency within their team, which sort of dissipated today. And on a map that we really expected everyone to have under their thumbs, Residential House, it went in favor of Online Dogs, and Online Dogs didn't really do much. They kept things simple. They went for the bunker strat, and Red Wings were just unable to find that initiative to take that ground away from them. But
Mhm.
regardless, they are going to have another chance to bring things back onto Prison Break as we go into the map. Red Wings will be attacking on the first half, and hopefully it's going to be a little different than how it was in the first one. I mean, it's bound to be because the map more or less plays out completely differently. Prison Break is a lot larger, a lot darker, a lot more intimidating.
I mean, I don't know if you want to say Prison Break is larger, but there's a couple of different
90
avenues that you.
episodes, dude. 90 episodes.
Okay,
I googled
not the
it.
series, not the series.
This is not gonna be the only
Uh,
time I'm gonna make this reference. I'm gonna make jokes. And I'm gonna. I got one reference, my guy. Prison Break. I'm gonna make it count.
yes, I'm gonna see like some talks about a random blueprint to hell that's someone on someone's back or something. Like, but okay, spoilers aside, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna be jumping into the game pretty soon. Don't really worry about that. But as the teams are gonna be getting ready, this particular map, in my opinion, it's a little bit more on the favor of the attack side from what we have seen. Like from what I have played on this map, attackers generally do have a very significant advantage here because of a couple of the repels that can be played for. But that's kind of the thing. When you're so reliant on those repel and the positions that you're going to be playing from those repels, it's easier to make those mistakes. If the defenders really start to catch up, they're going to be able to witness those repels being utilized. You can't even go in for the upside down repels anymore because there's no safe repel spots. So it's about knowing on how you're going to be able to hold those vertical positions and those windows when you're on that defensive side, because those windows alone give so many power plays and positions to the attackers that generally a team that knows how to control the windows as a defender will of course be able to take away a lot of the significant advantages that the attackers can have, while instilling a lot more of the fear factor that you always have in Zero Hour, especially when you're trying to go in for attack there. And another thing that a lot of teams kind of forget about is that the breaker in this particular map is placed in such an awkward position that you as an attacker can generally go towards the breaker, turn it off, play for the night vision goggles, and it might just be able to work in a round or two where the teams just don't bring any flashlights.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more emphasis on utility in a lot of these aspects, and again, how you position yourself on the map. And I feel like if as you sort of you play the match, you use a private map, and you walk in and you explore how the map looks, and that will definitely hit you hard. Like some of the spawn peaks that a lot of these maps have is so blatantly obvious. You spawn into, like, you see critical response, you see hotel trouble, you see embassy raid. These very large compounds have so many windows, so many open spaces. I think there was another map last time. It was on a shopping mall, I believe.
Yeah.
It had a parking. I
Showtime.
forgot. Sure. No, it was not Showtime. It was in last season, in the last tournament. Um, we
That's
had
a
one
shopping
map
mall?
on it. No, it looked like a shopping mall. You have vague
I don't
memories of it.
know.
Okay,
I
there
don't know
was a
what kind of
large map with
shopping
a
mall.
lot of windows, and I don't know. It somehow came up on the pics,
Hotel
and
Trouble?
no, dude. There's a distinct difference between a hotel and a shopping mall.
I don't know. You are really bad at
Okay,
describing things.
regardless. I know how to describe dumb, aggressive, but the big
Well,
windows,
that's in his own
big,
jokes more than other
big
people.
windows, big windows. That's the fifth time I said that. Big windows. and a lot of space to work with. Gives defenders a lot of room to go for these sneaky picks. But again, Prison Break having a bit of a synonym with that style. You spawn in, you see these angles, you definitely want to explore. We see players, say from bigger teams like from Shopper Bro, from Rancor, from Unit 911. We saw them explore these a lot, and as you spawn in, you really not don't really expect these on the first map unless it's some of the vanilla well-known maps like Terror House or Residential House. Um, these are things that they are going to be exploring, but it's gonna be who has given the most time into it. But seeing things from the first map, the strategic mindset is sort of all over the place. I'm gonna be honest. It's all over the place, especially for the side of Red Wings. They're gonna have to go through some serious group discussions, some team meetings, just do those group yogas or something. Get your head in the game. We know what they're capable of. It's just maybe they had a rough start, maybe they weren't feeling it. First game since the broadcast began, it's normal to have some jitters, but you have this one opportunity to really bring it back, unless it's going to be a lower bracket run, which is quite risky going into this stage of the tournament where we have some of the best teams remaining. So uh, having that comfort of the first map that the side of online dogs are feeling right now, it's gonna make a world of difference, because they can, even if it's a weak map, they can really let loose, and they can really sort of step back and like, okay, we got another map, we can reorganize ourselves. We had a dominant showing in the first one. An off map doesn't matter, we'll bring it back. And again, experienced players also play a factor in here. Being able to consistently play in a BO3 and a BO5 in a tournament environment not only helps yourself but also helps you keep your teammates calm. So everything just sort of puts Red Wing under a massive spotlight, and
Yeah.
the spotlight that's sort of revealing all their flaws. But they had a break, they had some time to catch up and sort of just fix out everything, have some talks and have some plan, make a plan going into the next one, be a little bit more organized, and possibly what we've been saying for the last match, be a little bit more brave, be a little bit more willing to take initiative, and just throw nades where people exist. Okay, don't throw it at
Yeah.
random hallways, just throw nades where people exist. That's it.
Yeah. Another big thing is that I don't believe that the communication lines are as clear on the side of Red Wings as you would have expected. You can tell that online dogs were just a little bit better at communicating with one another. Like in the very last round, the fact that Piranha sat down in that living room knowing that the door was blocked off and he was in a perfect position where no one's going to be able to see him because he was completely prone in that exact position, and he was able to see the feet of Sulfuric as he was trying to go in for that flank. Stuff like this, like that small bits of communication that your teammates are going to be able to tell you, like, hey, you're safe from almost every single angle. Just watch one spawn. He's not going to be able to do anything to you. It's the small details like this that will really change how a game is meant to be played. You're going to make mistakes, and those mistakes need to be stabilized to a certain degree. And this is exactly how you're going to need to do it. The small stuff that you need to figure out as a team that will really turn the tides of any battle here. But it seems as though the teams are taking a little bit longer, ladies and gentlemen, to set everything up. We're going to be heading on down over into a very short little break to see what the problem is. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with a lot more Zero Hour action.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Zero Hour Asia Showdown. We are back for the possible last map of the upper bracket semi-final between Online Dogs and Redwings. It's me, Kirito, alongside me is Aggressive. We just saw Residential House, where Online Dogs took the victory against a very distraught and disoriented Redwings, which is not how they typically play, at least from what we've seen in the previous tournament and pretty much the entirety of the bracket till now. But the question is, can they bring it back as we go into prison break? It's gonna be a difficult task to come back from a loss like that. But again, they've had ample amounts of time to reorganize themselves, have a team talk, just try and bring themselves back mentally into the game, and hopefully, I mean, let's see if it can. It was a very very difficult loss, to be honest, because they just weren't playing the way they normally do, or at least the way they should have at this caliber, at this point in the tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna need to see where this is gonna go for them because Red Wings are just making a lot of very basic mistakes and it's just adding up one after the other. But hopefully in this map, finally they're gonna be able to find that saving grace that they really needed. They have chosen to take a side that is a little bit more easier to defend overall, but being easy doesn't mean you're going to be able to get this one scotch-free. You still have to work hard for this one. Lights are being taken away just to make the hallways a little bit more darker for the attackers to walk on through for free. But positionally, you can tell that the members of Red Wings still in a little bit more of a hefty situation because of the different positions that they have to worry about, especially because of the outskirts of these staircases also needing to be cleared out. This map, honestly, is a perfect mix of Residential House and Radsten put together in one because of the way that you can play it. And you can already tell that the map is not as ginormous as what a lot of people would say. There are some key points and hallways that you just have to worry about, and everything else is just nooks and crannies that you can find on every single map of Zero Hour. Yeah, it's a bit overwhelming for the first time, but as soon as you play it, you're going to be able to get a good read on what to do next.
Yeah, especially Wentworth Miller's acting, it just makes everything so much better. You know, him in season 5 was absolutely stunning. It doesn't even matter.
Oh my god, did you write this thing down during the break?
And believe it or not, the 2 minutes you were talking, I was like, I gotta say something after I get the mic. I just have to. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. This is a very nice looking. Oh my god, look at those water. Oh damn. Things be looking nice in a jail.
GTA 6 inspired, you know.
Yeah, possibly, honestly. But it's just. I mean, it's such a. I feel like even though you might have practiced this map, you might have, roamed around, picked up some spots, know all the angles, ways to play the utility, or have set pieces, until you really go in to a tournament setting and you play against an actual opponent, an actual team trying to take you down, trying to do the same, have a same mentality going into the game. It's not really a tried and tested map until that point. And again, you might practice your heart out, but you still gotta have that taste of how it actually feels to perform against a actual 5-stack against you. But so far, it's going to be real straightforward from the sides of Red Wing. They're going to go up to the second floor, trying to work their way through that door. 4 players in that area, trying to hold on to all the angles. Online Dogs are going to stick relatively close together. They are going to try and have some distant players, but more or less, they are trying to hold onto certain part of this floor and trying to keep each other within the crossfires so that they can trade out and utilize their gunplay potential. But 4 minutes on the clock, so far nothing happening. I'm not seeing any drones being popped out. They have opened up this door, but they haven't really made any progress. I guess they're waiting for Libra to try and maybe flank through this other angle. But so far, Red Wings, again, a bit of a shadow of the last map. Not really taking any initiative just yet. Pirana trying to go for some long range shots. Doesn't connect so far. Bit of a standstill for both sides, and not much has happened, but they are still trying to move in towards the objective. Libra will finally
shot, Libra.
good angle as well. Making the most of it, gets the first kill. Immediate and this follow-up by Ghost using a nade. Where did that come from? Paladin trying to go for a deflection, but doesn't really find anything. He's going to try and move in, but again, no opening given. Online Dogs really holding their ground this time.
Ready to see where they're gonna go with this one, but again, a tough spot for them to find. Again, Libra, it's just so hard to get him off of that angle. You need to pre-fire that one perfectly, or you need to have a flash ready to just pop him out of that corner. But they just don't really have the utility to do so. One player has crossed out over from the sideline, so Libra, he can just like... Yeah, but the thing is that angle is so tight that as a defender, you're not going to be able to... Sorry, as an attacker, you're not going to be able to clear him out that easily. He's still just going to keep on going. The headshots galore from this one particular player. Ghost is going to be able to catch out Paladin as well. And it's all up to Alt F4 to really send everyone back home packing. Down to a 4v1 now, giving a chance and an opportunity for his team. But that sight, especially at that range, just... does not bode well for you. You're just going to need to wait this one out. Maybe go in for another kill, but knowing Libra and his positioning, it's going to be a hairline of an angle that he needs to try and find.
Rancor coming in from the back to finalize that kill, and Alta 4 can be the super sub for his team, but not this round. Instead, he's going to have to wait up. Again, I feel like a little bit more utility would have been a lot better. It would have given them a lot more of a easier time trying to get inside that site. Even if they say you're inexperienced on the map, maybe having that drone or that shield just standing on the doorway will give you information on how the positioning is for your opponents. Maybe you can be smart about your utility, or at least make the most of your nades at that point. But Redwings, they made some progress. They opened up the door, but it seemed like such a struggle to get in, and once they did, Libra was ready for them. And again, the rest of Online Dogs just reacting off of that hole so well. Holding the crossfires, going for the flank. Giving them that first round in a very, very dominant position to be in. They already have one map down. And now they've started the second one with just an adrenaline rush at this point. Something that actually the side of Redwings is gonna need. They need to be a little bit more energetic. They need to be a little bit more brave going into these fights. But again, it's just one round. I hope they're trying to get a feel for how the game is playing out, how their opponents are playing. But again, room for error is very close to none.
Gonna need to see where they're gonna go with this one too. There's too many different opportunities that you have to worry about here.
These players are giving me critical response PTSD, bro.
Nah, god damn it, stop talking about your long lost school. I know you wanted it that badly. If you want it, just go back to school again. You got a lot to learn anyways.
Okay, this might be a little corny, but technically we are in my actual realistic school right now.
You studied in a... Okay, never mind.
It wasn't a jail, it was like a jail. It's just, you know, that would be the answer every kid ever gave you, right, about school.
Sure.
But yeah, same approach. Redwings going into that same room. Maybe they'll have a better plan going on to this. Ooh. Barely avoiding some shots there. Online Dogs holding these tight angles. Seems like they have a better understanding of these positionings compared to said Redwings, at least from these last 2 rounds so far. That's what it feels like. Free fall is a very, very open spot. Stray bullets can maybe catch him. He's just standing in the doorway open. It's very risky. Trying to go for a flash, but again, is he gonna react off of that is the question. He will. Libra again trying to hold this angle. This time
this
he will
is
be
bad.
out. Shuts the door and he's getting out of there. Doesn't want any bit of that action. But again,
You can tell that the map knowledge is so well coming out from him. Understands that, hey, even if I lose out on that one angle, Doesn't really mean I'm not going to be able to run away, find another different position to really play for. Nades across, jumps in, maybe gets the catch, but instead it's going to be Piranha who cleans it out. The Nade's not going to be able to get the kill, but flushes him out of the corner. That is for certain. Opening kill, once again, a lot of damage also being given by the members of Redwings. On the opposite side, they do find the trades at the bare minimum, 44 across the entire map. Libra looking for the kill, not going to be able to find it. Piranha takes a back seat, and finally, we do see signs of life coming through from the members of Redwings, but instantaneous trades coming in from the sidelines. Their HP so low, to say the very least. Good trades again as the members of Online Dogs. They are just going back and forth with one another. Damage done, angles created, and positions found as the members of Redwings. They're now turning into the Rabid Dogs instead. They need to find a kill soon enough because they need an opener for themselves. The HP a little bit too low and the positions yet to be revealed. And you can tell that Online Dogs, they're just in their elements. They're playing in the chaos. They're thriving in it. While Redwings, they're having some trouble trying to figure out what to do next or how to reconvene as a team. And Smokey, he comes in strong to go in for the kill. He hears out the sounds of the last couple of players as Revolve needs to be the hero of this story. Tries to go in for the fight. He's not going to be able to get it. And instead, it's going to be a simultaneous trade. Ladies and gentlemen, 0-2 as Online Dogs, they continue their dominance.
Oh yeah, in typical Online Dog fashion, they're gonna take the second round. But again, not, a very chaotic round. They didn't win it out. Red Wings had a rough time, but it's a step in the right direction. They're trying to play for the trades. They're trying to get into these positions where they're taking the fight to Online Dogs, and they're flushing them out of these angles that are so very strong and being a massive thorn on their side. They're taking some initiative and trading out their teammates who are dying. That's more than that they have done in the last match and the first round of this match combined. But again, they need to be a little bit more organized. They need to utilize information as well. Maybe be smarter about the nades. You see, go for a jiggle peek. You see there's a long range angle. Maybe Libra's holding another one of his cheeky positions through a door or through a crackway or anything. You utilize the nades, you utilize so much utility, you have flashbangs as well, and now as you're taking these gunfights, those flashbangs will come in handy by 10 folds. So there's a lot of room for improvement, and even if it's a small step, Red Wings, they are, making some progress. But again, time crunch is the essence. 2 rounds already for Online Dogs. If they get 3, having a clean first half will give them an enormous boost of confidence and momentum.
Doing it all pretty much at the end of the day, and this is where the fun will really begin, ladies and gentlemen. Positions prepped and ready as the members of Red Wings, they're looking to take these fights and take these duels to its fullest decor. As every single one of these players from
10 seconds.
Online Dogs have really showcased their prowess, to say the very least, for it. But overall, where do they want to go with this one? Where do they want to head for this moving forward? Because the way that Online Dogs have been playing, Red Wings are just left scratching their heads because a lot of these rounds really just came down to having better angle positioning and Red Wings just not having the information to really play this map out the way that they would have wanted. And this is what I was afraid of, Keith. Like, we talked about this as well, that Prison Break is one of those maps that really tests whether or not you are going to be able to really understand what to do next on this particular map. They do know how to get the opener, they do know how to get their Radiant towards the side, but a couple of these rat angles being utilized by Online Dogs just goes to show that they've practiced out these angles, and the only way to clear them is through the usage of proper utility.
It's gonna take some time for them to figure out, but again, time is limited. 5 minutes left on this one, just barely. Again, a bit of a different approach. They're trying to clear out some of these rooms, not really pinpoint themselves into one angle like they did the last couple of rounds. Things got a little messy there. It's fine. They're making some progress. They're creating room for themselves. They're making avenues to work in. But now when the final push comes in, they're going to have to make the most of it. They're going to have to go in with guns blazing and utilities flying in the air. But again, it just can't be random. We've seen them throw utility, and it needs to be a little bit more hyper-focused on their opponents. Uded, unfortunately, unable to make anything worthwhile happen, and neither will Revolve as 2 players fall. Again, 3 versus 5, and it feels like Online Dogs are getting a little bit antsy, a little bit proactive, as they're even exiting the building, taking these fights when they don't need to. But again, they're doing damage, they're making it effective, and they're so far not giving away unnecessary deaths. Maintaining the lead while still, putting the pressure on the attacking side. definitely a bit of a mental game. And a wide swing.
Yikes.
Libra gets the kill, but the trade is there. Alt F4 and Libra trade lives. But still advantage vastly in favor of Online Dogs. 4v2. And again, Redwings pretty much just resetting. Coming up with a different game plan. Sulfuric and Paladin. They got a lot of room to cover.
We're looking for this hit though overall. The angle.
Ooh.
Pretty much presented and ready. Sulfuric be deep in position. He's looking for another frag here. But Online Dogs, they just instantly made a run around over from the back out. He's gonna be ready for a Paladin in position. Tries to go in for the swing and for the shot, but he's instantly gonna try to go in for the run around. Big kill. Cyclops is gonna be able to take on Paladin instead. Never mind, take it all back. Redwings, they are crumbling under the pressure. And they are losing bodies in the process. This is not looking that good for them. He's gonna drop down from the hatch, Amoga style.
Oh,
The
yeah.
imposter has been spotted here. And Online Dogs, they're getting ready to just throw him out of the hatch.
How did he get out of that tough spot? And Nate came. I forgot who it was who died out there.
Paladin.
All he had to do, Paladin. All he had to do was just hold that angle. Honestly, the nade would have flushed him out. Either he was going for a more aggressive approach or just got insanely headshotted. I don't know, but again, clean half for the side of Online Dogs. 3-0, and spirits are high. They're definitely feeling it, and they're definitely ready to get this over with. You possibly might be looking at the final map of the day. Good news for me, no critical response.
Hey, just so you could stop feeling bad about yourself. Is that
I mean, bro, I'm in my element right now. Prison breaks.
you do look like someone that went to prison, so
Oh yeah, I'm a hard prisoner. Hard. yeah. Let's.
this is what happens when you drop the soap a little bit too much, ladies and gentlemen.
Abort mission. abort comment. But yeah, 3-0 Online Dogs are gonna swap halves. I'm interested to see. It feels like Online Dogs, as you said, they are more experienced on the angles. They know the positionings of the maps, and they know how to coordinate these gunfights. Now I want to see how they display that on the attacking half. Because Redwings, they were a little bit blunt on their approach. The first couple of rounds, they definitely tried to just force themselves into a couple of angles. They did take some more initiative and try to take these gunfights, but ooh, Sulfuric looks like he actually might have come prepared. That's an angle I've not seen before.
Ooh, this
Find some value out of this.
is interesting. I forgot about this spot entirely. I remember dying to this once, but after that, no one's really been utilizing it as much. Sulfuric in a pretty good spot. I think he's going to be able to get a kill as well. Can we get an angle on Sulfuric again? I think he's on the opposite side of the building. Never mind, he's going to be able to get the catch. Piranha's not going to be happy about that one. That's a big opening kill for them as Redwings finally, they have the man advantage for the first time going in towards this map. And for now, Online Dogs, not really going to be expecting it. I don't think that angle's even counterable because you're not going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to shoot through it because it's just one singular position where it's wall bangable and that's it.
Unless you have it in your protocol, unless you know every single time I spawn on that area, I'm gonna go in and just try and pre-fire that angle. It's really no other way you can really counter that, honestly. It's such a small angle. Reminds me of the game very similar to this that shall not be named, back before they updated the whole wall holes, the bullet holes.
I mean, you can still do this.
There was a time where you could not see where you got. It's as if the walls picked up a gun and shot you, pretty much. At least now the wall has a hole.
Whoa! I thought that the wall got demolished.
Happening?
I thought that the wall got destroyed for a second. I was like that one sequence just broke the entire wall.
Is this Prison Break or is this Azkaban? I don't know. Oh yeah. I'll be here all night, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Actually, possibly not, because I mean, again, online dogs looking very comfortable on this. Utilities are being cancelled out, but still, they are being confident. They're taking ground. They're taking the fights. They're slowly but surely surrounding these players. Evoldo gets the first one onto Ghost. Big kill coming in. No trades just yet. But they are taking these fights. There is
Good
Smokey with that
shots.
trade. Oh, long range.
What are you picking? What are they picking?
Almost oh, he threw a
online
nade.
dogs.
He threw a nade.
It doesn't
Almost
matter. You
there.
don't throw nades even into those type of angles, because as soon as you do, you just start losing out on so many of your bodies. They made a lot of significant mistakes already. Members of Online Dogs down 2 players out already, in particular for this hallway, as they're trying to go in for a double-pronged approach. You can see from multiple different sidelines, they're trying to take this fight. So Fury's going to be able to catch one over on Cycrox. That's gonna be good nade usage already being given on this particular map. Looking for the shot. Libra's gonna be able to find the hairline for one of these players. Paladin takes a back seat, and now it's down over to a 3 versus 2, ladies and gentlemen, to try and play this one through. Udad in towards the side of the prison, exactly where he belongs. But
What?
for Online Dogs, they're in a little bit of a tough spot to try and equalize this one out. They need to go in for a push, but looking at Libra's positioning, he has a perfect flank to try and go in for one, but with Sulfuric primed and ready for the first initial engagement, he's going to be able to find a shot. That's going to be the raid boss now down, and that's all up to Smokey. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy who has been able to perform. Good for the kill. Catches out Sulfuric on the hairline angle. And with that, the pixel peaks are done. 2 minutes left on the clock. Ample amounts of information being given away, towards the members of Redwings to try and zero in onto the position of Smokey. But he still has the time to play it through, so take it easy, take it slow. Just let the defense fester a little bit, because in this 1v2, he should be the king, because we have seen him time in and time out, even on his old team, be able to perform exactly like this. Will he be able to get a 4-0? That's going to be the real question, though.
Slowly trying to bait out these shots. He has still enough time to really even cut off noise and make the players second guess on the defensive end. But now the cam and the noise from the nade, they should have pretty good idea on where he is, and it doesn't even matter. They can just play the site. Smokey will have to really break through a very tough crossfire if he wants to get in towards the objective. Again, he can try and isolate these angles. Nade available though for Evolve, and he's gonna get the shot in. We thought it would never come, like season 6, but Redwings got it around.
Yeah, this guy.
After 5 seasons, Redwings finally get one on the board, 3-1, and that could be the footing they need. Again, it's still a big climb for them. Online Dogs, despite looking a little messy, they definitely gave them a run for their
It could have
money.
made that choke on 4-1 scoreline. That could have been better.
I mean, why wait? Why wait?
The delivery on the jokes on this, man, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's exactly what he goes.
Just, dude, shut up. What was it again? Aggressor. Okay, yeah.
He just forgot.
Aggressor.
Used planning to
Yeah,
respond to
I
bomb.
win. Well,
Oh.
Online Dogs are the ones who are teaching Redwings some tricks right now, and Redwings definitely utilized it to get that round on the board. But can they maintain it? It was still rough. That was quite rough, and a lot of unnecessary fights being given away, risky peaks. There's still some, rough edges to be smoothened, but they have a footing. Maybe they can bring it back. Maybe we might go to a critical response. I might be counting my eggs, counting my chickens. Is it eggs or chickens?
Chickens.
Counting my chickens before they hatch. Ah, yeah. Got it.
How do you count your eggs before they hatch? Explain to me.
Deploying in 10 seconds.
Statistics.
Statistics. Yes. This is why you failed in math.
Ironically,
Locate and defuse the bomb.
I actually did fail in math once, but that's he's going for it again. Can he find one? No, he doesn't. Sulfuric doesn't take any damage though, but this time Online Dogs were ready. They take some hits. But instead, oh wait, he got taken down. Was it a wall bang? I think he didn't get out of the room in time. Sulfuric trying to go for the old wall bang again, but this time punished. And online dogs, they don't take an ounce of damage, I believe. Oh no, actually they did. One of the players is close to half, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a bad trade-off.
They've gotten pretty deep into the building as well. The drones are going to be utilized to just catch a couple of these players through these windows to just play for a bit more on the information side of things. Going into the first couple of rooms here, the power plays are already being done as online dogs now looking to go in for the push. Libra in position, up and ready, close towards the prison angle already. And you can tell that online dogs, they're just being so systematic in their overall approach. They're knee deep in enemy territory, and they're not even afraid for it. Ghost does have the angle for the timing over onto one of these positions, and with so many of the spots being opened up, it's going to be tough for Redwings to try and hold on to unless they're able to find big equalizer kills in their positions to remain unknown. But they do have a good couple of rat angles to really play for, so it's not the worst thing for them.
We're just going to see how this goes. Revolve, he's got a pretty good understanding there's a player outside the window, and he's going to get a follow-up to trade out. 4 versus 4. Again, the rest of his team, they're holding their ground strong. And again, this will disrupt online dogs a little bit. They won't have that one avenue covered. But they are still making progress, moving down the stairs, trying to slowly creep up around the objective. They still have Ghost on that shield who can gather some information. Paladin, did he spot someone out? I don't know. But he did make some noise, especially considering when he's trying to play a cheeky angle. Trying to avoid revealing your spot or your position. Drone still gathering a lot of information. He's freestyling with that drone. He's parkouring with that drone. But
oh, Libra!
Such a clean shot onto Paladin. He knows there's a follow-up there available, and he's trying to look for it. Advantage given away. Another player so low. Revolve, he's down. He's not dead yet, I believe. But the nade comes in to finish him off. 2 versus 4, and online dogs showing a bit of their methodical side. Yuda now in a tough spot. Long angles with that SMG is not going to be the best fight to take, and he's going to be paying the ultimate price. Libra takes him down. It's all onto Alt F4. He's got utility to work with. Spots the shield. What's he gonna do? Trying to look for the foot. Trying to see if anyone's gonna try and trade him. Here comes the shield. Ghost. What are you gonna do? He's trying to call out for his teammates, but he doesn't even need it. Runs him down, and it's a 4-1 scoreline.
It's just the reality of this universe.
Season 6. There you go. I did it. Season 6. You happy?
Why did I give you that idea? Like, why?
Well, 4-1. Online dogs looking to close things out. Honestly, they might. Redwings, despite their best attempts, they definitely are showing some improvement. But it just might not be enough to keep them away from the lower brackets.
Gonna need to see where they're gonna go with this one, with the time now ticking down. It's just difficult for the members of Redwings to really find a good answer to these. Like, a lot of these early duels, especially with Libra just swinging out and taking fights like this, like, the way that he's able to just have that perfect crosshair placement ready to go in for kills like that, that's what's really surprising. He's not really surprised by any of the map's angle elevations or where he's taking a lot of these fights. He just knows what to expect. He knows for a fact that Redwings are going to be playing for these very common angles, and as soon as they start to fight for stuff like this without crouching, without trying to readjust their head position, that's when Redwings really start to falter. Online dogs, they're just playing them on the basics of Zero Hour. Not even Zero Hour, I would say. The basics of what a third-person shooter is, tactical shooter is meant to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the best third-person shooter ever. Generally what a tactical shooter is meant to be, you're supposed to manipulate where your headspace is gonna be at, and one player's just sitting on top of the bathroom. Like, I already know what's happening in the comms.
You guys look at me. That's exactly what's happening. Yeah, Redwings on the defensive end. Last ditch effort to try and keep themselves alive in the tournament. Reminder that winners of this matchup will be going to face Rancor in the upcoming upper bracket finals in a best of three. Loser will be sent to the lower brackets where they have to fight elimination. Looks like, by the look of things, it's gonna be Redwings, but again, benefit of the doubt, they pull back the biggest comeback ever. Maybe. Let's see. But starting things off, they are gonna have to keep track of where these players are coming from. Online Dogs, we saw the last round. They definitely are trying to enter through multiple avenues. They're trying to take these flank approaches. They're trying to lurk around these defensive players. And Red Wings, considering that they're holed up in some very tight angles, this could pay off, but you did. Will take the first initiative instead, getting the first kill for his team, 4 versus 5. But again, this doesn't really phase Online Dogs. They know their gunfight prowess. They know that essentially each one of them has the potential to maybe get a 3K or a 4K clutch possibly each round. And, you know, that's just truth. That's just the truth. That these players, their aim prowess is definitely out of this world. And combine that with the way they're utilizing the utility, they're utilizing these drones, they're slowly clearing out these angles, these stairwells, using the shield. They need to fix that, my guy. This is scaring me. that drone.
It's traveling through dimensions.
What kind of Doctor
It's
Strange
going-
movie am I in? What is happening?
Oh my
What
god.
is happening? That was scary. Whose drone is that? Whose man's drone is that? I don't know. Uded does find one more onto Piranha, and he's been the Grim Reaper to the side of Online Dogs. Smokey again trying to spot him out with the drone. Ghost gets another trade. Uded finally falls. But again, advantage still belongs to Red Wings. And they're still playing to their strengths, which is trying to play off these very tight angles that Online Dogs might have some trouble fighting. Ooh, Libra. Oh, what?
Shot.
What are you doing? How is this guy just hitting everything? 9
is his
kills
map.
already.
Like, he's just doing everything that he can for his team. Like, look at the positioning that they've gone in for as well. They're waiting for Red Wings to just get a little bit dicey in the positions that they are in. Couple of pop shots being taken to just bait out these players from Red Wings to just swing into their open crosshairs. Ghost tries to be the one to create a lot of the space. So Spheric in position with the nade, just holding on to it. Here's a little bit of a sound. He's instantly going to be tossing it. As Libra, he needs to understand that his positioning is now compromised. Needs to find a different angle over from the sidelines. They're not going to be ready for it. In towards the back. Smokey! He needs to be ready for it.
What was that, bro? Someone hit that. Smoke. He just get taken down.
no.
And a follow-up from Revolve. Out of nothing, out of nowhere, he brings it back and he's gonna try and get more. It's all down to Ghost with the shield. He has a smoke. And he has his secondary. He can try and pick up a rifle, but Red Wings are not giving him that space either. He's gonna have to go around the world and try and find a different opening. But right now, as Red Wings see, he has retreated. They're gonna try and scatter around the map. Maybe cover every avenue they can. Ghost is on the hunt though. They're all hunting for him actually. They're not really trying to hold themselves down around the objective. They are open to try and cover some of these potential angles that he might come from. Ghost picks up a Rattler. Trying to find a pick, trying to find something to really accelerate this clutch opportunity. Pre-fire shots will connect, but to nothing actually. Spots a player down the hallway. Flank might be coming in any second. They're actually not going for a flank either, they're just holding him. They know exactly where he's at and they're gonna keep him there. He's gonna run out of bullets if he doesn't get this kill quick enough. Oh, he does, but it's a trade actually. Revolve. Good for a few kills and good for that round 4-2. Keeping Red Wings alive. Did I just jinx it? Caster's Curse?
Possibly.
It's been a while. It's been a while since I've cursed anything other than aggressive casting experience.
Ah,
What was that you said, Smokey? The emotions got the better of my co-caster right here. Bro felt the intensity all the way from across the server. But yeah, intensity is definitely the name of the game. 4-2, Red Wings stand a chance as they go in to the attacking side.
Use the
They
planting
did
tip
struggle
to
though,
find the
is
bomb.
the point.
that's pretty much the reality of the situation now. So they're looking to get a little bit more closer towards these avenues to try and take a lot of these fights. As finally we do see some signs of life, sorry, from Red Wings, but the question being, how long are they going to be able to survive this one? So with so many of these different positions now being given away, Online Dogs now have a good understanding of what the members of Red Wings are really trying to pull off here. And with them being on the defensive side now, it's just even more difficult because Online Dogs, they have not really showcased the best of prowess when it comes down to their overall attacking portion.
10
But
seconds.
knowing Online Dogs, if they just lay out their bunker strats, this is going to be a very difficult one to break into. The generally Red Wings as a team, as soon as they have a lot of space, as soon as they have the options to really play for, if they don't get a kill early on, the team just doesn't really have the direction on where to push to next.
Seems like they give away a lot of these kills in those scenarios and just take gunfights without any form of trades or utility. Which essentially, it's just, like I said, giving away your life. Turning, say, a 4v2 into a 3v2, eventually a 2v2. Then Online Dogs' game prowess takes over. They just 1v1 the hell out of you. They force you out into individual fights and they have the advantage in that sphere. Again, that is a hypothetical potential at this point, not the final outcome as of yet. As no
That drone just
blood
phased
has
through the
been
floor.
spilled yet. The drone's been doing some weird stuff, okay? The drone's in a mood.
And I instantly started singing the song in my head.
Is it? Don't tell me it's the annoying one.
Yeah, it is the annoying one.
Oh god. I mean, I like.
Bro,
that
he's
song,
gonna be
but
the one
at
who's
a
annoying
point-
on the server, though. He's gonna be able to take that first initial kill over towards the side of Red Wings, taking out a big key player for their side overall. As Red Wings now just start to figure out on where to move on to next. The entire map is now dark, zeroed into the different positions. The drones aren't going to be able to find a little bit of clearance. A bit glitchy here, trying to go in through the doors. They're not going to be able to find the information that they would have wanted for this engagement just yet, but the angles and the timings that they're trying to play for, a lot of time is being wasted here overall, trying to make this push work. Is Red Wings with the opportunity and the chance to really work the map once again, but we've seen this in the past, right? They have the entire map under the bag, but they just can't really break through these defensive crossfires that Online Dogs have set up. Plus, additionally, Online Dogs, they have the man advantage, so they're not going to be taking any more risky plays. They've shown great discipline that whenever they have the man advantage, they will no longer take those peaks anymore.
Except Libra. He's gonna find all the angles. He's gonna be able to, from a single point, from a single, floodgate, just completely deny every force that Red Wings have. And we have seen Red Wings really bottleneck themselves through one entrance. Already we see 3 players around this one door. Maybe they will flush in if they find an opening pick, but you don't know what else is waiting on the other side. They haven't really droned out the actual objective where the side of Online Dogs are hiding. They've cleared out everything else. That's good information. But again, you don't really know what kind of crossfire is being set up there. And again, it seems like the map knowledge isn't entirely there either. Even if it was, it's still one of the first times I'm seeing this map be played at this level of a tournament. It's an accurate weather description of Bangladesh recently.
True.
I had midterms today, and like uh, the entire university, whoever took the course that we had an exam for today, they were all messaging, "It's raining, bro. Postpone the exam." It was a day and a half today. That's all. But yeah, online dogs, they're making progress. Couple more kills here and there. 5 versus 2
They are
scenario.
lost.
They're trying to bring things back, and actually they will. Alt F4 gets another, but the trade is instant. Udet falls. It's all up to Alt F4. He's got a nade in hand. He's got the health pack as well. Try and force himself to take a fight and heal up a little bit. 2 minutes on the clock, and now online dogs should know exactly where he is. They spotted him out earlier. He spotted him out on a cam. Spotted out another cam. They know exactly where he is, and they might be wrapping around. Alt F4. He's got to be careful while clearing these angles. He might miss out on the player and on the positioning. 1 minute 30. Time is slowly ticking away. He's gonna slowly move in closer. Again, he's near the objective, but online dogs, they're holding these avenues, they're holding these crossfires so confidently. And he find the first one, he doesn't expect it. He doesn't expect Smokey to be there, and the gun wasn't aiming at that point. And with that, it's gonna be online dogs taking the 5th round. Only 2 is what Redwings could conjure up. And with that, they are gonna be sent to the lower brackets, while online dogs carry on to move forward. They're going to be the ones to face Rancor in the matchup tomorrow, the upper bracket finals, best of 3. Not tomorrow, actually. It's a little later. But for tomorrow, we will have the lower bracket matches between a couple the teams like Shopper Bro and Team Bond. They're going to be showing up. But, I mean, it's a bit of an anticlimactic ending, but Redwings, they definitely are showing that they're like a shadow of themselves at this point. There's a lot of room for improvement. But again, it's not over yet. They still have the lower brackets to go through. A lot of competition is piling up there, but that's what you signed up for. This isn't the qualifiers anymore. This is the broadcast. This is the upper bracket. This is the final stages of one of the biggest tournaments Zero Hour has seen.
Yeah, that is for certain, ladies and gentlemen. But that's all that we have for you for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a good 2 sets of BO3s. It was a fast one, but again, like this is what's gonna happen sometimes for the upper bracket runs, right? But in the lower brackets, the real fun is about to start even more, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow we have a lot more action for you at 11 p.m. Make sure to set your time for that one. It's gonna be a pretty late one, so make sure to grab your snacks and get yourself comfortable with that one indeed. But for today, good night and happy gaming, everyone, and thanks for stopping on by for the Zero Hour Asia Showdown 2025.